Hi guys, welcome to my latest channel that is DentFizz. This is an easy access to BDS subjects and today's topic is asepsis and antisepsis, which is a part of chapter wound, sinus and fistula. Asepsis and antisepsis, they both are basically the very equivalent word. There is not much difference between them, but let's start with asepsis. Asepsis means the precautions that are to be taken before the surgical procedures which are developed against the infection. For example, like wearing the gloves before any procedures, cleaning the part with iodine and spirit, sterilizing of instruments and autoclaving. Now, let's move on to the antisepsis. Antisepsis are basically the surgical procedures are done today only after taking the precautions. For example, dressing of an already contaminated wound using carboxylic acid and iodine. The broad spectrum antibiotics used in presence of infection and wearing masks and caps in the operation theater, etc. Nosocomial infection. Now, these are basically the infections which are acquired from the hospital. These are known as nosocomial infection. Now, infection can be patient's own organism, like kind of self-infection, or organism from the external sources. For example, in the surgical ward, suppose discharging wound, infected urine, feces, sputum, all of these can occupy the nosocomial infection. The commonest organisms for these are Staphylococcus and gram-negative organisms. The preventions of hospital infection, like we can take the necessary steps by avoiding unnecessary antibiotics to prevent development of resistant organisms. Autoclaving and sterilization, etc. techniques should be performed under a great supervision. Proper ventilation of the ward should be done. Then proper scrubbing should be done before any procedures. Then proper disposal of urine, feces, sputum should be done, and use of disinfectant should be continuous. Last but not the least topic is sinus and fistula. Right now we'll only discuss about the introduction and let's start. Sinus. It is basically a blind tract that leads from the surface down in the tissue and is lined by the granulation tissue. For example, it is congenital sinus inside preauricular sinus. Basically, the preauricular sinus is located in front of root of hallux of ear due to failure of fusion of ear tubercles. Direction of the sinus is upwards and backwards. And next example would be acquired sinus, like example median mental sinus and pilonidal sinus. Pilonidal sinus is in anal region and median mental sinus in the tooth abscess. Then osteomyelitis, like gives rise to the sinus discharging pus with or without bony spicules. Then comes the fistula. It is the abnormal communication between the lumen of one viscus and to the lumen of another, like internally, and or you can say in different word that it is the communication of one hollow viscus with the exterior of the body surface, like external fistula. Its example includes example of internal sinus, tracheoesophageal fistula and colovesical fistula. The second example of external fistula includes brachial fistula and hieroglossal fistula. Now we are going to study causes of sinus and fistula. The easy mnemonic to memorize is DEF this PMN. You can memorize it as polymorphonuclear, like DEF this polymorphonuclear. The first, let's start from D. D means distal obstruction. E means epithelialization of tract. A means absence of rest. F means foreign bodies. This would be spelled as DIS. D means dense fibrosis. I means irradiation. S means specific causes such as tuberculosis, actinomycosis, etc. And polymorphonuclear like PMN. P stands for persistent infection, N stands for malignancy, N stands for non-dependent drainage, invading quiet drainage. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe and do comment.